vote for me, and I'll set you free.
Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose.
Come together right now over me.
Hey there, it's Lars Larson. Right now, you're listening to Nevada Matters.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Nevada Matters Talk Show. I'm your host, Pat Chilato. With me, as always, Craig Stephen Moss. Today, he's the station engineer here, folks. He's pretty
Today
important.
and every day.
Yeah, well, whenever he decides to stop looking down.
And he combed his hair.
And he combed his hair.
No,
yes.
Vicky, unlike you, I ripped it out.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty manly of you.
And we're off to a fun start here on the Nevada Matters Talk Show. Just a couple quick notes. If you guys want to call in and talk to us, you can call us at 844-790-8255. You can also text us at 775-237-2266. Our guests today, comedian extraordinaire, Ms. Vicky Gordon.
Woo!
Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Pat.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for
Your hair looks good.
Thanks for. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. What a strange comment, but
What about my
I'll take
hair?
it. I'll take it. Your hair looks fabulous as well.
I'm waiting for you to be introduced, and then I will comment.
The other voice that you are hearing, that is our other guest. I'm not quite sure how to. Entertainer, comic book writer,
Graphic
Author.
novelist.
graphic
author.
novelist,
Filmmaker.
Fantastic lover from what I'm told on Facebook. Give it up to Mr. James D. Schumacher the Third. Is that? Do you prefer that whole thing?
That works perfectly.
James D.
actually.
Schumacher the Third.
And thank you for
Yes.
pronouncing that right.
Okay,
Your
yeah,
hair
absolutely.
looks
The
good too,
Third.
Jim.
I totally nailed the Third.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Vicky.
Yes, you do have some fantastic looking hair. Yes.
It's been coiffed. I had to stick my head out the window like a dog.
There you go. Hey, that's how you do it these days. You want feathered hair.
Is that how it's got to go now?
I have no idea.
Wow.
I shaved my head.
In the 80s, all we did was,
You'll get
flick
weird-
our heads with the comb.
You'll get weird looks, but
Hey, you know what? Sometimes that's how we drive. Ace Ventura, that's how he had to drive.
exactly stole that right out of my mouth.
Okay, so we're a production of America Matters Media. If you guys want to check out any of the shows that we produce here in the America Matters studio inside the Reno Town Mall, all you got to do is check us out at americamatters.us. We have over 60 plus hours of original community-based programming here at KCKQ AM 1180 America Matters Media. We have all of our shows archived and podcasted. Check us out online. Use the TuneIn app. If you have a smartphone as well, you can stream us live. And, we have people all over the world who listen in and join us.
Oh, there you go,
occasionally
John.
call
Hello,
us,
world.
text us.
Yeah.
So, now that I've gotten all that stuff out of the way. Craig, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Patrick.
You think we should
Maybe we should. Yeah, let's
You wanna
do it.
that?
Yeah.
All right, let's mention our sponsors.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's say hi to the people that make this possible here on AM 1180 KCKQ. And that would, starting off in Virginia City, would be Hugh Roy and Cynthia Marshall, owner of the Silverland Inn and Suites, as well as the Marshall Mint Museum and Jewelry Store. Down here in Reno, a little closer to home, would be James and Erling Forsyth, owners of Forsyth Cancer Care Center, 521 Hamel Lane at the corner of Sierra Rose Drive and Kitsky Lane, directly across from Lowe's, kitty corner from P.F. Chang's. Last but not least, our favorite property owners of all time, Rob and Lynn Roth, owners of numerous properties along the West Coast, including a mall in Carson City, a mall here in Reno, that mall here in Reno being the Reno Town Mall.
Hey.
And we love them for giving us a place to spend half our week.
Some of us longer than others there, Craig.
Our home away from home, yes.
Oh, yes. How's your day been so far?
Good, and looking forward to 50 or 48 minutes. 48 minutes from
The
now
end
when
of
it's
this
over,
show,
yeah.
right? The end of this show?
48 minutes and 30 seconds from now, yeah. Not that I'm
That's when he
counting.
breaks into a dead jog out to his
Right,
car.
yeah, that's
Then after this, I get to go to my chiropractor's office before he closes at 6:30.
There you
So
go.
Time to crack-a-lack that back. All right.
Yep.
So, now that we've taken care of the formalities, the niceties, we've addressed all our sponsors and talked about our online presence, it's time to talk with our guests. Vicky, have you got anything going on?
Well, I'll be
That's
at
a no. James, how are you? No.
Bam!
that was good.
She's gonna probably beat you here.
Actually, I actually don't have any shows, and he knows that. But I'll be at Wildflower tonight and at 3rd Street tomorrow night.
That's right. Do I have you down on the list?
yes,
I do have you down
you
on
do.
the list. That's right.
You do.
You better, because you announced her yesterday.
I know, right? I know. I'm just busting your balls as always, Vicky.
No, we're good.
Oh, we
Yeah.
discussed those earlier, too.
Right? Yeah.
I don't want to know what you guys were talking about during the break, the first break. break, but pre-break since we actually didn't have a show at that time. Yeah, so
Is that a pre-break if it's before the show,
I
or is
don't
it
know.
pre-show?
All I know is I want a Kit Kat.
It's like a
You want a
pre-show.
Kit Kat, really?
Give me a
right
break.
now?
That's all it
Give me a
is.
break. Give me a
That's all
break.
it
Give me a
is.
Kit Kat bar.
Why do you got to do that to me? I'm sitting here trying to lose weight, and you're talking about food that I love.
Because I'm a fat guy. Kit Kats are always I am 1 degree away from not Kevin Bacon, just straight up bacon. All right,
Wow.
6 degrees of separation, not happening. Bacon and Kit Kats.
You got
all
like
the way.
7.5
In
'cause
fact,
you
a
want bacon.
Oh,
bacon-wrapped
bacon Kit Kat.
Yeah, bacon wrapped Kit Kat. I'll bet that could happen. Let's make that happen.
Wow.
There you go.
Oh, that's gross.
I think
No.
That is
man.
kind of gross.
If they're
yeah.
gonna deep fry Twinkies, then you can bacon wrap it.
And if
Have you ever put butter on a Pop Tart? Yeah.
and if Taco Bell is doing Cheeto wrap or Cheeto deep fried macaroni and
that's
cheese,
right. Jenny
That-
Pez Dispenser and I were talking about that. Those aren't great.
I haven't had
They're
it.
not bad, but
I haven't had it,
man,
but a friend of mine had it and he liked it. But
you know,
he's a boy.
I don't hate them. I'll probably order them again 4 or 5 times in my life. But
He thought it was awesome.
have you tried them, James?
No, but all my friends, because we all hang out on Tuesday nights and
Sure.
get drunk and play video games.
Yeah.
And it's always
That's
been
a
on
good
the list of
Tuesday night.
things to do. Like, what are we going to eat tonight? What are we going to eat tonight? We've tried bacon wrap stuff, and it's
Okay.
a fad
How'd
that
that
needs to
go?
go away.
Really?
Oh,
about-
something about savory and sweet doesn't
Okay.
work.
So it depends on what you're wrapping the bacon in.
Yeah.
What if you're wrapping it in more bacon?
Yeah, we got to call Christopher Nolan because that's kind of an Inception thing. It's like, hey, Mr. Nolan, we've just stole Inception from you.
Bacon wrapped inside of bacon, inside a Taco Bell, inside of a KFC. Okay, well let's so how was your day today, Vic? Never mind.
Her day was great. 'Cause she saw me.
It was awesome. I gave Jim a hug.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
and she didn't get slapped.
No.
I've never slapped Vicky. She's the one that beats me all the time.
I believe that because I
Wow.
know Vicky.
This is how
she
rumors
hits
get started.
hard.
This is
No,
how rumors get started.
This is not how rumors get started.
It's not a rumor when it's true. The reason I'm wearing this sweater is because my arms are covered in bruises.
You guys are giving me a hot flash right now.
Oh man!
All these tattoos.
And that of course
are the
makes your hair
bruises.
green.
Oh, yay. Oh,
That- your
it's
words, not
mermaid
mine.
blue. It's mermaid blue.
Mermaid blue.
Bleached by the sun.
I'm just gonna call it
Thank you, Craig.
shimmering aqua.
Shimmering aqua, really?
Mermaid blue, Tahitian bronze, if you will.
Wow. I'm
I
not
actually
even
had a
sure.
car that was Nairobi beige once. Yeah, it was a Mitsubishi Galant. It,
Yeah.
it
Get
had
it from
nothing
a-
going
It's
for
other.
it.
It's,
Do they
the
still
real
make
name of the
those?
color was called sand.
Yes, right. It was called.
Did you
crap.
get it from a used car lot?
I got it in Palm Desert, so actually, yeah.
Check the drugs inside that
I
vehicle.
no.
I would
no.
have checked that thing out.
Comes from the Palm Desert. It's like
Right? Yeah. You want to check the glove
My sister,
compartment. You wanna
my
take-
sister lives down there, and I'm like, you crazy.
I went to school there. All right, so that's the actual end of our first segment on this show. It went by in such a random, fast pace. I don't even know how it's going to go for our second segment, but listeners, stay tuned to the randomness and craziness that is the Nevada Matters Talk Show. We'll be right back.
And now back to Mr. Patrick Shilato.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Ken. Much appreciated to both of you. I'm here right now on the Nevada Matters Show with Miss Vicki Gordon. Hi, Vicki.
Hi, Pat.
And another wonderful guest, Mr. James D. Schumacher III.
I got to stop. You
What's up?
actually let Vicky say a word.
I know. I snuck it in really super quick.
That's a word too much.
Oh.
Wow.
I love you, Vicky.
I love you, Jim.
Anything else you'd like to say, Vicki? The mic is yours.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think I want to talk right now.
She's all
If you're
talked
gonna,
out.
if you're gonna give it to me that way, no.
No, I really want to hear what you have to say.
No,
Yeah,
Listen.
right. I've been married before, Pat. I know what this is about.
We're not trying to set you up.
That's
this way.
Right?
funny.
Let's talk about Jim.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so Mr. Schumacher, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about the work you do as a graphic novelist, etc., etc. Please,
Etc.
Awesome.
please tell me.
First and foremost, as my mother would say, I'm a collector of tattoos.
Okay.
Completely love tattoos. I'm like sleeved out. Everybody makes fun of me for it. But I'm a graphic novelist and an author based out of both Reno and Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I just did my most recent book called Inheritance. Has been literally sweeping through Comic-Cons everywhere we go.
And you've been to how many Comic-Cons?
12. And we've
Okay.
been, and the book is sold out every single time online. All of our print runs go out rapidly. And the entire book was based around my mother and I's relationships when she was passing away in 2009. And it's that kind of message that connects people to the work. It's not just another horror story. It's not just another story that is very glacial and very kind of every day. It's something that every single person has in them. It's this notion of actually seeing somebody in a book, seeing somebody in a movie that you can actually identify with, as opposed to somebody you wish you could be. And ever since I was young, since I showed Vicky my first script 11 years ago, it's always been that same drive and that same passion to give people material that is more than just entertainment, but it's heart-wrenching and unrelenting, as I tell people all the time.
So it's pretty brutal.
It's brutal. It's not meant to pull punches. I don't want to. None of my work has ever been, I say, unfaithful to what people are. It's always truthful to who people are.
I was just going to say it's honest.
It's honest. It's very truthful to.
Brutally honest.
It's like, I love allegory, I love metaphor, but I think the direct, honest, unaffronted truth can go right at the soul of somebody, as opposed to like, look, it's a pretty candle and we're going to show you something there and hopefully you can pick something out of it. It's like, no, here's two people and here's how they kind of exist with each other and how that relationship can be affected by external forces and internal forces. And that's ultimately what Inheritance was about.
Okay.
Is it?
So, as far as genre, do you classify it in one particular genre, or is it a multiple themed?
I think it's a multiple genre. You can definitely classify it as horror. Because
Okay.
its roots are directly at horror.
Is there a shock value factor?
I think there is.
Page turn, boom,
Yes.
anything like that?
Yes, I think with how I designed Inheritance, I designed it as the shock values derived.
I'm sorry to interrupt you real quick. We do have another commercial break coming up right now. That's what those
Cool.
seconds right there mean. It's the Nevada. We'll be right back with our guests James Schumacher and Vicky Gordon right after these messages. Stay tuned. It's the Nevada Matters Talk Show.
This is John Voight. Listen to Nevada Matters.
Hello and welcome to the second half of the Nevada Matters Talk Show. I'm your host, Pat Shillito, reminding you that we are a production of America Matters Media. Check us out online at americamatters.us. If you want to call in and talk to either of our awesome guests, that's Vicky Gordon and James D. Schumacher.
What if they want to talk to you, Pat?
Well, they never want to talk to me.
We're the only ones who want to talk to them. That's why we're here.
You can call us at 844-790-8255, or you can text us at 775-237-2266. You can actually even walk into the Reno Town Mall.
No, wait a minute.
Walk in to the front of the America Matters studio right here, where we are located for the time being. We're actually relocating to another studio or another
But
space,
still in the mall.
new space right here in the mall.
Oh.
It'll be right over where
Right over there.
where China Works is.
So it's not any closer to the library?
No, not really.
Okay.
How close do you want to be to the library?
I
Vicky?
want to touch books.
I want to touch books.
I'm not going to lie.
I really thought you were going to say
Quote
something
of the
else.
day. It's the inspirational quote. Picture of
Vicky
Vicky.
Gordon.
I want to touch books.
I want to touch books, Gordon.
Finally.
All right, before this deteriorates, as it always tends to
Already
do.
gone. Sorry.
Already got.
And that's been Nevada Matters.
It's on a train, as a matter of fact. It's on a train going fast.
All right.
Johnny Cash's Redemption Day.
We were talking to Mr. Schumacher prior to our last break.
We were.
A little bit about some of his graphic novels, the inspiration behind the book we were talking about specifically was Inheritance, if I'm
Correct.
not mistaken. We were talking about the inspiration and how you arrived. I believe the last question I had asked before we had to go to the break was to do with multi-genre, and you said it was definitely, it could be classified as horror, but it is more than just that.
Yeah.
So if we could pick up from there.
I like material that is not really kind of set in stone as to what it is. I like to innovate, like to kind of change things up. And Inheritance is designed as a horror story, but it's a horror story with a very centered story and a grounded reality of a family struggling as they. I'm coughing now.
Sorry. I made him cough.
It's a sympathetic cough.
Yeah, right? I
It's
cough first.
What it is it's a. I wanted a story that was centered on people, and a lot of horror these days is just not that. It's very much let's slash the crap out of everything and just show you as much blood, guts, and gore as we can. And I
Or
wanted to-
it's just so much basically just implication.
Yeah.
Lots of in the shadow, in the dark kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The PG-13 horror movies that
Yeah.
you see nowadays. Yeah.
And I wanted to give people on comic books, because there's not that many horror comics out there that's actually truly terrifying, that takes atmosphere over violence and gore. And I wanted to kind of change that. And I adapted the approach that I take with films to comic books. And Inheritance is majority of its wide panels, and it's designed to flow as if a movie would. There's no narration balloons where you find out what the person's thinking. It's like it's left for you to kind of fill in the gaps. And it's that centralized approach to characters that you can identify with, and horror that kind of has garnered it a bunch of attention to having it compared to like the Twilight Zone, which is one of the biggest compliments I've ever gotten.
Sure. No.
And having people come up to the booth and stand there with me for 30 minutes talking about their experiences with cancer, because Inheritance is a story that's set in the 1950s in both present day, and it deals with a family that's struggling to control an insidious curse. That curse carries over generations of people.
Okay.
And it's set in the present day time. It follows a woman who's currently dying of cancer after her son has her committed to a mental institution for seeing spirits. And a lot of that I never committed my mother, but a lot of that comes from the conversation I had with my mom, and that conversation, she was telling me she was dying. Mm-hmm. I was like, no, you're not. She's like, no, I'm dying, trust me. Kind of like this glib kind of, I'm dying. And 2 days later, true to her word, she actually died, and I didn't believe it. So I adapted that skepticism and incredulity that I had for her into a story called Inheritance.
I see.
And we get people, like I was just at EternalCon on the East Coast, and I had a woman stand there for 45 minutes telling me stories about her niece, who was now literally dying of cancer. And she's like, these books are going to show her that something exists past cancer, because people get stuck in the process of having to fight a disease that kills a majority of its sufferers.
Sure.
Well, there's so little control
Yeah,
that the cancer people feel.
exactly. And this book, An Inheritance, and then my story, my mother and I story, gives people almost a sense of control back, as Vicky would say.
I see what you're saying.
And it works. It's just this incredible thing to see people, like, I get emails from people that are like, thank you, this has inspired us. And that to me is worth more than anything else.
So you have a pretty insatiable fan base then, too, from what you were telling me, based on your experiences at some of the cons that you have been going to. You were saying that you're classified as an independent publisher?
Not a publisher. I'm a graphic novelist and author.
Okay.
I don't consider myself independent. I try to tell people to get out of like modeling themselves as like, or marking or labeling themselves as independent, because I think that takes away from you as a creator, as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And I just try not to do independent, because too many people get stuck in branding.
So you're trying to avoid that label entirely.
Exactly.
The labeling of that, you try to recommend that to other novelists.
I think it undervalues your work if you're not willing to say I'm an author.
It puts you in a particular
Category.
thing. Yeah. And you don't want to be in any one category.
Yeah, media barely pays attention to if the word independent's in there.
Right.
Cons barely pay attention to you. Stores barely pay
but
attention to you.
you've been selling, your Inheritance has been selling out at all the cons that you've been at.
Right. Now, based on what you've been saying, you've been marketing it in such a way that it's not independent. You're not saying the word independent, or you're not using that as a label. However, it is getting this attention and this groundswell. How do you classify it then? I mean,
I say it's a horror story. It's a comic book horror story.
Okay.
And it's that approach. It's because at a young age, my mother always told me, she's like, value your work, no matter what it is. If people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it, but no matter what, value it.
Stand by it, right?
Stand by it. Go, okay, great. So when I go to cons, I don't sit there. I don't have any quorums with answering any questions anybody rapid fires to me. Because I think people that have suffered from cancer and suffered from horrible loss, like I have, a lot of times people kind of clam up and they don't talk about it.
Sure.
And what everybody's looking for in material and movies and more so than just escapism, they're looking for connections.
Do you think a lot of people find catharsis through your work then?
Yeah.
I mean, based on what you were saying, as far as people giving conversations about it, the woman who had the 45-minute conversation about her niece.
Yeah.
Do they ask you pretty specific questions too when it comes?
They've
to
asked me when did the worst one I was ever asked was, where did you find your mom? And I was like, okay. So I explained it, and she's like, okay. And she's like, it's very similar to mine. where they found her mom and stuff. But it's this being open and honest with people that people value these days because everybody's glued to their phones. Everybody's glued
It
to
is,
their
but you're
computers.
relating to them on a horrific experience, if you will. About, you both are able to talk about that kind of thing, and that's great. You have no idea what you're doing for her, Jim, and what it's doing for you.
Yeah.
When you talk to her.
Well, it's like this.
The openness that comes with it adds to the value.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I tell my girlfriend Sarah, I was like, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be clinically insane because I don't know how to process anything besides creating something in front of me.
Well, it also sounds like it's creating a very valuable form of therapy for other people who relate to the work so closely.
Yeah.
And this isn't the only work that you've done, too. Inheritance is one of many.
It's one of many. It's it's my first comic book series.
Okay.
I have
It's a series.
It's a series, yeah. It's
Okay.
currently got 3 books, and then we're talking to new artists to kind of take over the mantle. And it'll actually, the first series is slated to be 270 pages long.
Oh, wow.
Most comic books, they run between 24 pages and like 28, somewhere in that range.
Sure. Yeah.
My first book was 30 pages. The second issue was
That's a graphic
34.
novel, yeah.
And then the newest issue is 41 pages.
I see. So these are pretty thick volumes then.
I love material that you get a lot of it out the get-go, as opposed to like, here's 10 pages and then 10 pages of advertisement. To me, To me, I feel cheated, and I don't want people to feel cheated.
It's the way magazines are nowadays.
They are.
Pretty much.
Especially, it's
Most
like
magazines. Yeah.
Wait, so you read magazines?
I read lots of
you
magazines.
read.
I thought he was looking at the pictures.
No, well,
That was my first thought, Pat. That
whenever
was-
I pick a new Harry Potter book, man, it's got to have pictures right now.
Gosh.
I'm kidding. I don't know what a Harry Potter book looks like. I swear to God. My sister loves it, though.
Does she?
Anyways, we're actually coming up on our third break here on the Nevada Matters Talk Show. Folks, we're talking to James D. Schumacher and Vicki Gordon. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to the. Hold on.
You trying to lasso your ear there, Pat?
This always
The
happens.
rodeo was in June.
Put the pizza down. You don't got to run over.
Steer wrestling is
man.
already done.
Oh, man. Yes. Welcome back to the Nevada Matters Talk Show. I'm your host, Pat Shillito, trying to make sure that I don't strangle myself with the headphones
He almost did
here
it,
at
guys.
the
Almost.
Nevada Matter,
Yeah, he
America
did.
Matters studio.
I'd pay.
I would
Would you pay too?
Would you
Yes,
pay to
I
see me
would.
Keith Carradine myself? David Carradine, sorry.
Wow.
The more important one. Anyway, we
That's like talking about the Baldwins.
Oh,
nice.
Craig.
Nice.
Oh, Craig.
Everybody knows Alex the Alpha. No, okay, Alpha Baldwin. That's a good name. I think that's a good band name too. We're here talking with Vicki Gordon and James D. Schumacher III. Woo. Woo. Holla. We've been talking about some of the graphic novels he's worked on.
Which you can find more
Passion
information
Project.
about on his Facebook stuff.
Oh,
So
yes,
let's get that out of the way
absolutely.
real
Wow.
quick.
Right.
Yeah, I know, right?
'Cause I ramble.
Bam.
Okay,
Thank
so
you very much, Vicki. Yes, your contact information, how people can get in touch with your work, and you specifically, if they.
you can find me in a plethora of ways. You can find me on Instagram at the Schu14. That is SCHU 14.
Okay.
You can find information on Inheritance at facebook.com/Inheritance Comic Book. My new book is facebook.com/Of Devils and Men. You can find me on Twitter at Schumacher3, and you can find Inheritance on Twitter at Inherit Novel.
Okay. Those are all of your. That is how people can get in touch with the material that we've been talking about.
That, or they can fly a banner over the city.
There you go.
Schumacher, where do I find
Is
you
that,
books?
yeah, is that like
Surrender
a signal?
Dorothy.
If
Is
you
that-
are that
yeah.
if you are that awesome enough to, then I'll give you books for a lifetime.
Seriously,
Wow.
yeah.
Instead of
Skywriters, welcome.
So wait a minute.
Instead
how
of the
big
bat
is it-
signal, it's a shoe signal.
You're right. It's a shoe signal. How big does a shoe signal have to be?
It's got to be
Size
It's got
14.
to be comparable to bat.
Oh.
15 more like it. You got to go for those uneven numbers.
Sure. Shaquille O'Neal wears a Ronald McDonald 23.
Oh man.
So,
Does he have the orange wig too?
oh, absolutely. You can't be creepy.
Probably
And,
does.
yeah, you can't look like an insane clown posse member who's, peddling burgers to kids unless
Without the orange
My
wig.
dad
yeah,
just got hooked into ICP.
you. Really?
I'm like,
How does anybody.
he's
what?
a 63-year-old man sitting in his bed all day, and he's like, I like ICP. I was like, what?
Yeah.
How'd you go from Simon and Garfunkel to those guys?
That's like a 12-year-old saying, saying, you know what, Donald Trump makes a little sense.
It is. It's very close, Pat.
Donald Trump is a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
ICP.
It totally is.
Oh man, you heard the latest story about him today, right? He has to have one good news story a day.
They kicked a baby out.
Yeah,
Get
that's
that
the
baby
long.
out of my convention.
Yeah, no, he says I love it when babies are in my convention hall. It shows that their parents care that much that they have to bring them in. And then like a few minutes later, the baby's still crying. He's like, I was just kidding. Get that baby out of here.
Yeah.
You're taking the limelight off me. Everybody must know me as the champion, the ruler.
In the meantime, the
amazed.
mom is down there pinching the baby to make the
Baby cry.
It's
Right?
a sign of protest.
Yeah. No,
I'm
kidding.
amazed. How many kids does he have? And
I
he's
don't even
complaining
think he
about
knows, man.
he's complaining about this baby crying. I mean, was he not there for that part?
This is the guy that
No.
This is the guy that said he was pissed off at his wife because he came home from work and she didn't have food cooked for him. He's
Right.
Like,
That's exactly right.
not in the 50s anymore, dude.
It's funny. Honestly, Vicky, you've got kids.
I do.
If you had billions of dollars and kids, wouldn't you want to skip the dirty parts?
No,
Okay,
it's part of the
good.
deal is
Okay.
is hanging with my
She
kids.
made memories.
Oh yeah, totally.
appreciate
Well,
that.
Jim's met my kids, and they're great. They're great girls.
They're awesome.
They're ladies now, but you know,
Ladies.
they're women.
Okay, I can respect that.
Yeah, they're
I'm
older.
sure there has been at least one instance, one moment in life, whether the kid came home drunk or it was or no.
Oh, I've done drunk pickups.
I know.
Yeah.
So have I.
Yeah, it's- I've done
But
that.
I'm just
yeah.
like, if there was ever a chance where you could be like, you know what, just this once, I'm going to hand it off.
No.
No. Okay. Well, you're a better parent than I am.
Well, that's.
I'll tell you what. Well,
How many,
I'm not a
kids
parent.
do you have? I was like, wait a minute.
They're 12, 13.
He's got
I have
none.
no kids.
He's got none.
I have no kids. I am extremely
in
selfish.
the belly.
Yes.
That was an important commitment to me when I had my kids. I was just like, no, it's if whatever's going on, I'll be there for it.
I can appreciate
Which
that.
is why I
That's
started
good.
comedy so late because I was busy.
Well, I started comedy so late because I had already given up on everything else.
Whoa.
I started comedy so late because I'm terrible at it.
no, but
So I'm part of what's called the Actor Studio in Los Angeles,
Oh,
and I'm one of the part of
with
the directors.
Michael Lipton?
Unit. Oh, that's with like Martin Landau. A lot of A-listers go there.
Oh, nice.
So they get in there in the directors. unit.
Nice
They're
name
like,
drop, too. That was awesome.
Awesome. It's
Martin
great.
Landau.
Martin Landau's a
sweet.
good sci-fi name drop.
Yeah, it
the
is.
reason, The reason I bring this up is because they get the directors in there. They're okay, guys, do something you've never done before. So I was like, I'm terrible at comedy. Let's try comedy in front of some big directors. I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool. So I did my scene. Crickets. I was like, crap. And the guy, he's like this 80-year-old man. Lou Antonio was like, so, Mr. Schumacher, what'd you think of that? I was like, it's not that funny. He's like, damn right it's not. Do it again. I'm like, I never directed comedy before. He's like, make it funny. I was like, I don't know what to do. So literally did it again. And then by the time I come back, he's like, that wasn't funny. I was like, I've never directed comedy. He's like, well, I got mad respect for you for trying something you've never done before. But it was bad. Wasn't funny. And then all the guys, I was talking to some guys that were just phenomenal comedians. And I was like, if I have a comedy come my way, I'm going to shove it to you. You direct it for me because I can't do it. It's like I have mad respect and great respect for comedians like Vicky because I've seen Vicky's work and Vicky's hilarious.
Thank you.
For her to stand up in front of a bunch of people and go try to make them laugh as such tenacity to do that. I couldn't do it. I could barely stand up and take an award. I'm like, I turned into this bumbling moron. I'm like, but go America. I just want to go with my
It
trophy.
becomes a Trump speech.
USA, USA.
Make film great again.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
Hashtag make film great again.
Actors' lives matter.
Hey yo, they're gonna come protest.
What's that?
The actors.
Oh, I would
Actors
love
Lives
for
Matter.
actors to come to protest something that I said because
Right?
they would come in costume and in character.
They would.
And, hopefully there's a midget
With
or two.
soliloquies.
Just like
Soliloquies.
soliloquies. Yeah.
This is a dig at me from back when I was a
No,
youngin'.
it's not a dig.
Spell silhouette. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we're getting dirty. We're getting dirty.
Below the belt there, buddy. Yeah, so you've directed films as well.
Yeah.
You've tell us a little bit about that since we've got some time here left here.
My most recent film I shot was called The Astronaut.
Is the trailer still up? Let me interrupt for a
Oh,
second.
it's up online, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the trailer's up online.
People can look it up. YouTube.
Awesome trailer.
YouTube the Astronaut trailer, and it
Okay.
will pop up at number one. I shot that after my father almost died, and the film became really popular. It went to the Festival de Cannes, showed Film Corner, And then it was at a film festival where I was up for Best Director. My 2 actors were up for Best Actors, and we lost all of the awards. I was like, cool, great, because you win some, you lose some. But literally 3 days after the festival ended, the festival runner calls and goes, "You're gonna have to give you an award." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "The backlash was so big because I filled my entire theater from front row, like the crappy rows that no one wants to sit in, all the way to the top, and then the entire audience was in tears." So they gave us an Audience Choice Award because the amount of people sent emails going, "That didn't win anything." I was like, "This is incredible." And like currently right now, a good friend of mine, his name is Troy Ruff of Ruff Productions. This guy's phenomenal. He's an amazing producer, and we're prepping a trailer that we're shooting for a couple studios to actually pitch to them. And it's that horror western that's based off of the comic series that I wrote called Of Devils and Men.
Okay, Of Devils and Men.
Of
The
Devils and Men.
train.
The train.
That's right. We were talking about it during the break. It takes place on the train.
Yeah, it's set in the 1880s. It follows a bunch of people that are stuck on a train, and that train is running through this wasteland, and it's completely out of fuel, but it's trying to outrun thousands of creatures that want to kill whatever's on the train. And everybody inside the train has to come to terms with who they are as the world ends, and their only bastion of safety that's around them begins to fail.
I see.
And that comes from the year
Sounds
after my
intense.
mother's death. Yeah. It actually is. It's a lot of people that I know professionally love Inheritance, and when they read Of Devils and Men, they're like, "This is what's going to completely blow this wide open for you." They're like,
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
So people can look up Of Devils and Men. That's on Facebook as well?
that's on Facebook at facebook.com/Of Devils and Men. The site
Okay.
just went up today. We just signed a phenomenal artist. The guy did some work with Wolverine. He has this amazingly hilarious graphic novel called My Monkey's Name is Jennifer, about a little girl who like has this monkey who's been to Claude, and she constantly dresses up the monkey. And what she doesn't realize, it gets better. What this little girl doesn't realize, the monkey wants nothing but to kill her. Because it's a paranoid schizophrenic. It's like, "Stop dressing me up in clothes. Just stop." And it's a male monkey, and it's called Jennifer. And he's like,
Spank the monkey.
Yeah, right? Did you hear Craig?
So, yes, I did. I'm ignoring Craig. But Ken
Welcome to
Knutson-
my world. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Ken Knutson.
What was his name again?
Ken Knutson. Or Knutson. Ken Knutson. He's
Ken
going to kill
Knutson.
me. Knutson. But he's a phenomenal artist. This guy's worked on he's been published through SLG. He's done work with
Actually, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah,
I'm going to
he's-
go home tonight and look at some
Just
of my
start looking
comic
all this
books.
stuff up and goes, "Wait a minute."
Wait a minute. Do I have any Knutsons? Yeah.
Nutsons.
Nutsons?
No, it's Newton.
Oh, okay.
I was just messing with you. I was just-
we did
You're still upset about that kids comment earlier.
See,
yeah.
we did a podcast. We did a podcast with him yesterday, and I'm like, "I don't know how to pronounce your last name." He's like, "It's Rogers." And the podcaster's like, you can hear him kind of pause for a second. He's like, "It's Newton." He's like, "Everybody asks me that, and I just go, it's Rogers." He's like, "Some people go, really?" It's like that old joke of, how do you if you say orange really slowly, it sounds like gullible. Mm-hmm. And get your dumb friends, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't sound
They're not.
anything
They're
like
not
gullible,
getting
man.
it at all. They're
It
not.
doesn't make any sense.
There's a couple Louis C.K. jokes that are like
What
that too.
see what does make sense is going to Vicky's show tonight at the Wildflower Village.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of
makes
fun. It's a
perfect
great
sense.
room.
3495 Wildflower Village. It's right there on 3495 4th Street. Right
West-
there. at
West 4th Street.
West 4th Street.
Just before McCarran.
Wildflower Village. Vicky Gordon's going to be there. There's going to be some great local comics. That's always a lot of fun. Hosted by Storm and Norman Enlow at 9 p.m., I believe.
Yes.
Or whenever Norm gets there.
Ish, yeah, 9-ish. It's, yeah.
9-ish. Nah,
It's norm time.
Norm time. Yeah.
Norm time.
Oh, yeah. Norm time. It's like Miller time, although less oppressive. Yes.
And with white hair.
And with white hair. And of course, always recommending people to check out 3rd Street Bar, 125 West 3rd Street tomorrow night, right there in the shadow of the Eldorado parking garage. That's our open mic. I'll be the host, as I have for the last 3 years. And of course, we have Vicky Gordon there and a number of other great comics. We'll have some old friends, new friends, even a bear.
There's a bear?
Oh, wait, that's the Cleveland show song.
You don't want to miss out on Vicky.
I was so excited there for a second. I was
Sorry,
like, man,
Vicky.
a bear.
Sorry, Vicky. Okay, it's been a lot of fun, folks. Thanks for listening. On behalf of
thank you.
James Schumacher, Vicky Gordon, I'm Pat Shillito. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Nevada Matters talk show. Craig Stephen Moss, you want to take us out, sir?
Certainly. Stay tuned next for AM News with Dennis Romeo tonight or Wednesday morning if you're listening to the rebroadcast. We'll see you Wednesday at 5. Good night. 5. Good night. Good night. Good night.